Hi, I'm Maura Dooley, and this is the Hurry Up. I have your Week 4 sit starts. First off, Calvin Ridley had his best outing of the season in Week 2 with 19 PPR points, and that was against a Buccaneers defense giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So he should be able to get similar production this week facing a Washington football team defense that's second only to that Bucs squad in generosity to wide receivers. Another option is Deebo Samuel. He actually had his lowest point total of the season in a loss to the Packers last week, but he should be able to bounce back against a struggling Seahawks defense. They've allowed the number one receiver on the last two teams they've faced to go for over 100 yards. And George Kittle's been sitting out practice this week with a calf injury, so that could mean even more volume for Deebo on Sunday. For running backs, Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines are both start-worthy this week, going up against a Miami defense that's giving up an average of 32 fantasy points a game to running backs. Jonathan Taylor has seen his carries drop a bit the last couple of weeks, but that's mostly because they've been playing from behind and abandoning the run. This should be a closer game, so I like him. And then Nyheim Hines is a solid flex PPR option because he is their main pass-catching back, and the Dolphins have allowed an average of 50 receiving yards a game to running backs. Another option is Carson. He hasn't been seeing quite as much volume as you'd like the last couple of weeks, but he's scored 3 touchdowns in those outings. And I think the Seahawks are trying to get more balanced so they don't have those second half drop-offs we've been seeing. Relying on Carson would be an easy way to do that this week, facing a 49ers team that's in the bottom 5 for points given up to running backs. For my sits this week, it is all wide receivers. I'm going with the Broncos first. They kind of had an easy schedule to start the season. Their first 3 opponents currently all sit at 0-3, and they are now facing the Ravens, so their toughest test yet. The Ravens have given up a lot more yards on the ground than through the air, so I would say sit Tim Patrick, and Cortland Sutton should be more of a low-end flex this week. As far as the Steelers, I would try to sit most of their wide receivers if you have them as well. Deontay Johnson could be a flex if he's healthy enough to go, but Johnson, Roethlisberger, and Juju Smith-Schuster are all banged up right now.